Morning in Nashville, Tennessee. Hope everybody's doing well out there. It was a late night last night, early morning this morning. Chase McCabe, what's going on? How we doing?
A little tired, Rob, but you know what? It's okay. I think if the Predators had won, that would help things a little bit.
That
but,
would probably be different.
It is what it is. It's a tough one, but you gotta. We'll break that game down, obviously. But Connor Ingram, man, I feel for that kid today because he deserved to win, and it was unfortunate that they couldn't quite pull it out for him and losing in overtime. But yeah, we're gonna get through today. A little tired, a little extra coffee, but we'll be all right.
Was a tough one for the Predators last night. They fall 2-1 in overtime against the Colorado Avalanche. Cale Makar, the game winner. Nathan MacKinnon scoring the goal for the Avalanche early in the game. Yakov Trenin, the lone tally for the Predators in that game. So a low-scoring game was not necessarily a low-event game. You know, that was kind of the term when Peter Laviolette was here that he used to throw out all the time of, well, that was kind of a low-event game. I don't think you can describe that last night as low-event. Connor Ingram was sensational. As you said, Chase, we'll get into more of his performance coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll take your thoughts on the Predators on our text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. You know, they came out last night, Chase, and the start, you know, I thought relatively speaking was good. Now, obviously, It was better than game one, and, you know, I was watching the game last night.
Wasn't too far to go there.
Yeah, I was about to say, they said that, like, if they said that once on the TNT broadcast, they probably said it 50 times. And I was like, all right, guys, we get it. Game one was a bit of a struggle for the Predators in the first period. I thought they weathered the storm nicely, and then all of a sudden, you know, Jeremy Lauzon makes a bad decision in the offensive zone. He pinches up, and some guy named Nathan MacKinnon's going the other way. It's a 2-on-1, and kind of felt on that play like Ingram was trying to anticipate the pass a little bit and gave MacKinnon just enough room. And when you give that guy some room, he's going to make you pay. And MacKinnon makes him pay, and they're off and running 1-0 in the first period. And I think a lot of Predators fans out there thought to themselves, oh, boy.
Here we go.
Here we go again. And to the Predators' credit, I thought they played really well after that for the rest of the first period. Yakov Trenin ties it up. Even beyond the Trenin goal, I thought they were carrying the play a little bit more. They had some sustained zone time offensively, got a couple of good looks, and it's 1-1 after the first period. And I think if you're the Predators, you probably felt pretty good about the game, felt good about the way you were playing in that game, and it's 1-1 after the first 20 minutes. And Chase, really from that point on, it felt like Colorado had the puck the whole game. I mean, it was from the second period until Cale Makar's goal in overtime. They were dominant, and Connor Ingram kept them in it, but that was a dominant performance last night from Colorado from the second period on.
Connor Ingram played his heart out. And after that first goal by MacKinnon, you could tell he kind of settled down and things the game slowed down for him a little bit. I think he was wound up a little tight, but, you know, MacKinnon comes at you like that. It's going to be hard for anybody to make that stop. But, you know, that's where you have to minimize your mistakes. And – you know, I thought they were in big trouble because they kept taking dumb penalties. I even used a Mike Vrabel line on Twitter of, you know, with that. And I thought, man, this is going to end up being 5-1 again, and they're just going to get destroyed. But to their credit, they dug down deep and were able to kill off those penalties. But on the other side of it, when you don't capitalize on your own chances – granted, they were not giving you a lot of room to capitalize on those chances, but what little opportunities they had, you had to bury them, and they couldn't do it. And like you said, I think they played much better than they did the other night, especially in the first period. But Colorado is such a talented team that as the game goes on, they adjust and they just get better and better and better. And that's where I think the problem lies of just a matchup problem.
Well, Cale Makar had 23 shot attempts last night. He had 12 on goal, 11 that were blocked. I mean, he was everywhere for Colorado last night, and it felt like every time the Predators, you know, got the puck back from the second period on, they didn't have anything left in the tank because they've been defending the whole time. So when you get the puck back, you get to the red line and you chip it in, you make the line change, and there you are right back again on defense. I mean, it was kind of a a never-ending cycle of that last night for the Predators. And yet, Chase, it's 1-1 near the end of the second period, and it looks like Colorado scored a goal, and it's pretty clearly goaltender interference, I thought. Now, I say that, and I was looking at the review. I was like, I have no clue what they're going to call here, just because that's the way things go in the NHL with goaltender interference. But, Lehkonen was basically sitting on Ingram by the time that he was pushed in there by Fabro. So I thought it was the right call that they brought that off the board. But that's a power play for the Predators. And then quickly into the third period, it turns into a 5-on-3 power play. And with everything that's happened, how dominant Colorado was in the second period, it's 1-1. You got a 5-on-3 power play, and you just didn't do much with it. Yossi had a couple of good looks.
You gave them a 2-on-1.
Gave them a 2-on-1. Forsberg put one off the post there, but other than that, it was not the 5-on-3 that you're searching for. And, look, I'll be honest, that was kind of the point where I felt like that was it. That was their opportunity to capitalize here, and they couldn't do it. And by the time that 5-on-3 expired, it was right back to the same story of Colorado having the puck the rest of the period.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by you have to capitalize on your opportunities, and they didn't. And the unfortunate part, I'm not going to get in the same headspace as Jared, but he did make a good point on Twitter. He's like, there was like $35 million on the ice on that 5-on-3, and they couldn't do anything with it. You shouldn't look at things necessarily that way, but he's got a point. I mean, those are the guys that you pay a lot of money. Forsberg's trying to get even more money to score those goals, and quite frankly, Forsberg has just not been a factor, and that's a problem.
It's a big problem.
That's the guy that he and there are no excuses, whether the contract's lingering on his mind or whatever. This is the playoffs, so I don't know what's going on there. They got to figure it out. He's got to figure it out, because if he's completely taken out of this thing, then, and they already don't have much of a chance right now, but they have zero if Forsberg is not going to be a factor.
Well, on the 5-on-3, Yossi, he took a couple slap shots, which I just thought they were settling for shots there. It's 5-on-3. Move the puck around. Yeah, a couple slap shots. Move the puck around and try to get Kemper going side to side. And I didn't think they really did that all that well. Now, the best chance on the 5-on-3 other than Forsberg's going off the post was a missed shot by Yossi, and it bounced off the inboard, and it came right to Duchesne. And it just handcuffed him a little bit, and he had the wide open net. But other than that, there wasn't much going on. You get to overtime. Granlund had a couple of good looks early in the overtime, but the Predators were basically in survival mode. And then as good as Connor Ingram was, and again, we'll get to that here in just a second, Cale Makar finally sneaks one through, and all of a sudden you're down 0-2, and if you're going to win the series, you got to win 4 of the next 5. And given the way the first 2 games have gone, that seems like as big of an uphill climb as this team may have ever had in the history of their playoffs.
Yeah, it would be tough because, to your point, of the shots that they got on net, it got to the point in the third period and overtime that they were just simply just passing the puck towards the net and hoping something happened.
Yeah.
It was they couldn't get a clean shot. They couldn't set up a play. They were getting smothered by Colorado, and that's a credit to Colorado and just how they can play both sides of it. Both they're dangerous offensively, they're dangerous defensively, all at the same time. I didn't think Kemper really had to necessarily do a whole lot because his teammates were smothering the puck around him. So
I don't think you're worrying about Kemper's fatigue heading into Game 3 based on the first 2 games.
No, but I am Ingram. Because he and I know that John Hines yesterday said he didn't rule out the possibility of UC Saros in Game 3. I'll believe that when I see 74 on the ice. But, at this point, what I worry about at this point is, are you desperate and so do you rush him? Even though Ingram is the reason that game went to overtime. Ingram was tremendous. So I'm not really worried about that part. The guy has stopped. We were just talking about this. I think, was it 79 of 83 in his 2 appearances? So that's pretty darn good for a rookie in the Stanley Cup playoffs against Colorado.
Well, and, kind of moreover on that, it's heading into the series, what was the weakness for the Predators that we thought, outside of just the match?